Welcome in, guys. It is Brad with College SportsCast. I am here to do our Wildcat Weekly. Going to speed through this one. It is Christmas week. Merry Christmas. Let's go.
Thank you for tuning in to College SportsCast. College SportsCast presents Wildcat Weekly.
Hey, guys. Welcome in. It is Brad with College SportsCast, here to do our Wildcat Weekly show. It is Season 4, Week 18. We are wrapping up the first round of college football playoffs. Kentucky played in the NCAA National Championship volleyball game a couple of days ago. And I am here basically tonight to kind of wrap up the last week for Kentucky sports. Before I get started, I always start out with showing this. If you guys are with us on Facebook, man, we're getting pushing close to 7,500 on our page. We appreciate you. We are pushing close to 750 on our YouTube. Subscribe to both. Subscribing on Facebook is 99 cents. It does give your own subscribers page and your own subscribers chat. We are in there quite a bit in that chat, and it's only 99 cents a month on YouTube. Subscribe, like, comment, do all of that, and it would be great. We are trying to grow, and anything we do get helps us continue to make these shows for you guys. All right. This is Wildcat Weekly. John got word about 45, 50 minutes ago, maybe an hour at the most, that he is not feeling well tonight. So hopefully he will get to feeling better before Christmas. We're only 3 or 4 days away from Christmas. So hopefully he'll get to feeling a little bit better before Christmas. This will be our only show this week, so I wanted to go ahead and get something in because I've got family coming in tomorrow and going to be here all the way through Sunday. So we will not be doing anything here at College SportsCast after tonight. We will not be back until next Monday night for another Wildcat Weekly show. Possibly, depending on what we do, we could do our playoff preview show that night as well. I'm not exactly sure. The playoffs is Wednesday and Thursday next week, so we're going to get something in before then. All right. If you guys go back up here and get this up, this is our QR code for Home Field Apparel. And Home Field Apparel is a licensed apparel company. They got some really cool Kentucky gear in there, bomber jackets, and all kinds of really cool retro stuff. Check them out. Use our code CSCast and help us out that way as well, and get some really cool Kentucky gear. I'm going to have that up on the screen as I am talking tonight. All right, I am going to get started with Jayden Quaintance. So Jayden Quaintance made his debut Saturday against St. John's, and for Kentucky fans here, it has been 25 months since he first committed to Kentucky. It has been a long, long wait. He committed to Kentucky, I think, the 1st of November 2 years ago. When Cal was still here, that was the year that Reed Shepherd and Dillingham and all them was here and just getting started. There was a lot of hype. Had a great class, did not pan out too well. He left, went to Arkansas. Pope came in. Quaintance did not stay in the class. He left and went to Arizona State. Played at Arizona State, played in like 23 games or something like that before he blew out his knee. Had to have ACL surgery. 9 months later, he's back at Kentucky, and he debuted Saturday against St. John's 25 months later. And just want to point that out to you guys that it has been a long, long wait for Jayden Quaintance to actually play in a Kentucky jersey and check into a game. And when he did, I mean, gosh, the first 2 minutes that he played, he made an immediate impact. He hit a nice little bank fadeaway. Bill Rafferty with the kiss, and was pretty good. And then he held his own and blocking a shot on the defensive side in the first minute that he was in the game. He only played in 2 minutes in that stretch in the first half. That's the reason why I'm saying 2 minutes. But he made an immediate impact in this game. He wound up with 10 points, 8 rebounds, 5 offensive rebounds, 2 blocks, 2 or 3 dunks, putback dunks, and made an immediate impact. Kentucky, we started out slow once again. Quaintance only played 4 minutes in the first half, wound up playing 17, I believe, in this game, first game coming off of the ACL injury. But looked really good, guys. Quaintance is going to be a major, major key for this team going down the stretch here the rest of this season. And to be honest with you, I mean, he is the highlight NBA real guy here. To be honest with you, I could see him easily going top 10, maybe top 5. He is that kind of guy. 6'11", 255, can defend all by himself, doesn't need help. Play behind and defend. He's really good at it. He can move his feet. He was even moving his feet, matching up with some guards out top of the key. So dominant, really physical, can rebound. He's going to make a huge, huge difference on this team, to be quite honest with you. Going to move on. Jaland Lowe if you're a Kentucky fan, man, we had a pretty good scare with Jaland Lowe in this game. He checks in the first half, and inside the first 10 seconds, he barely takes a hit. He limps off the court holding that shoulder, goes back to the locker room immediately, and we did not see him until after halftime or during halftime. He comes out and tells Pope that he's okay. He's had trouble with that shoulder. And Kentucky was down 32-25. Another rough half at halftime in this game. And Lowe comes out. He checks in with about 16 or 17 minutes to go um, for the first time in the second half. Kentucky was still down 3, I believe, when he checked in, and between him and Quaintance checking in, I mean, it just turned the tide in this game. To be honest with you, Jaland Lowe um, creates spacing for this team that is much needed. To be quite honest with you, gets the ball up the floor quick, can drive the lane, can blow past people, uh, hit some layups at the rim, hit a floater, hit a three. I think he had 13 points, 3 or 4 assists in this game, but made a huge difference in 15 minutes, I believe. In this game is all he played. He was plus 20 in 15 minutes. Jayden Quaintance was plus 18 in 17 minutes in this game, and changes the way Kentucky looks, to be quite honest with you. Kentucky wins in Catlanta over St. John 78-66. Outscored the Johnnies 19 points in the second half. They were down 7 at halftime, won by 12, and beat Rick Pitino, to be quite honest here. In Catlanta, in Atlanta, excuse me. And, it was a big game. St. John's was ranked 22nd last week. It's Kentucky's first ranked win, at least ranked at the time that they played them. St. John's does have some talent. Ian Jackson and Zuby and Bryce Hopkins. I mean, they have some talent. They're missing a point guard, really, it seems like, on this team. That might be their Achilles heel here on this St. John's team. But a big win for the Cats. And here's the deal. So after this game, Patino kind of jumps on riders, reminds people to have a little patience, says it's really tough to win when you are down starters. He did not mention, he mentioned the point guard and Jayden Quaintance, but he did not mention Mo Diabate as well, who was out for 5 or 6 games before a couple of games ago now. He made a difference in the Indiana game and a comeback win there. And Lowe and Quaintance made a big difference in this game and, made a comeback. When you're down 3 starters, I don't care who you are and what team you are, you're not going to look great. Kentucky started out 5-4, lost their first 4 ranked games. But we'll see a different team moving forward if they can stay healthy, not get technicals, and stay on the floor. All right, Bellarmine is tomorrow night, and then there is a long Christmas break. Kentucky doesn't play for like 10 days or something like that. After the Bellarmine game tomorrow night, 10 or 11 days. I think they don't play till January the 4th, I believe, after the Bellarmine game tomorrow night. So it's possible that Mo Diabate does not play. I do believe he was credited with 2 technical fouls. Got one at the very end of that game. I'm not sure if it was hanging on the rim or jawing with his, running his mouth. I'm not sure what happened, but there was another double technical foul called there. It's possible that Diabate is not playing in this game against Bellarmine. It's Bellarmine. I mean, we should win this game. Let's just put it that way. Shouldn't be a real big competition, to be honest with you. The kids, the guys should be able to enjoy Christmas break after this, enjoy some family and Christmas and some time off, hopefully. And if they don't get to go back home, time with each other, enjoy Christmas. But after that, they come back. I think we play on the road at Alabama to start SEC play. That's going to be a tough one. But I do believe that these cats with Lowe, Diabate, and Quaintance have a chance. Cam Williams has played really well in the second half when there was some spacing on the floor. Had double figures in this game. Owe had 20 with some good spacing. Had probably his best game. I think he was named SEC Player of the Week today, actually. So the Cats did not climb into the AP poll. I'm good with that. I think Kentucky needs to have a little streak here and win a few games before they get back into the poll. That's my opinion. And then I want to get to the volleyball, guys. Volleyball yesterday, Sunday, played in the NCAA championship game against A&M. Man, that A&M team was on a hell of a run. To be quite honest with you, they reverse swept Louisville. Had to win 3 straight to beat them. Then they knocked off 3 straight number 1 seeds to win the national championship game. You got to tip your cap to a team. Their blocking defense was fantastic. Kentucky struggled with their block, to be quite honest with you, yesterday. They also struggled passing. I thought in the Final Four, I don't know if it was nerves. I'm not sure what it was. But they did not play well. I didn't think they played real well against Wisconsin in the semifinal game. They found a way to come back and win that game, despite probably getting outplayed in that one. And then they started out, they were up 18-12 in the first set and could not hold on against A&M yesterday. If they hold on to that first set, they had a set match, 24-23, and then A&M went 3 straight points and won the first set, and Kentucky just never did. The girls really never did respond after that, unfortunately. They did not look good in the second set. Third set was a little better, but not great. And A&M wins their first national championship, SEC. Congrats to the Aggies here. And, I mean, I do want to remember a fantastic year for the girls and the Kentucky volleyball team, man. I mean, just, they started out 3-2. They got reverse swept by Nebraska, who was undefeated. And then they got swept by Pitt, in Pitt. And then they won 27 straight matches all the way till yesterday. They were 8-1 before yesterday when losing the first set. They were resilient, gritty. Ava Hudson is going to be missed. She was fantastic. She was named the SEC Player of the Year this year, and she's going to be missed. I am hoping that we can maybe find somebody in the portal that could be anywhere near what she is. Brooklyn DeLay is coming back, will be a big, big piece. And I just want to say, man, I mean, I watched these girls all year long. What a fantastic year. I mean, like I said, they had 30 wins on the season. They wound up 30-3, 27 straight wins, their 9th consecutive SEC championship. They also won the SEC tournament for the first time it was played in 20 years this year. So they won their first SEC tournament in many, many years. They won their Lexington Regional right here behind me in Memorial Coliseum. Went to the Final Four, won the Final Four semifinal game, got to the championship game. Just a fantastic year. Four girls: Molly Tuzo, Cassie O'Brien, Eva Hudson, and Brooklyn DeLay were named All Americans, first, second, and third team between them. And Cassie O'Brien was the ACVA Freshman of the Year. So she's going to be back. So just so many accolades, so many things to celebrate. I hope you will be with me in saying congratulations to these girls. What a season. It is a shame that they come up one win short. But man, I think that A&M team just hit at the right time, and just was smoldering through some really, really good teams. Louisville, Nebraska, Pitt, and Kentucky. So congrats to them. Coach Skinner has a great team returning. Eva Hudson is really the only main loss on this team. Everybody else returns. So this ought to be a really, really great team coming in. If he could pick up a piece or two in the portal, an outside hitter here, or something like that in this portal, man, I mean, they could be right back in this position next year. I think these girls have that fire. Brooklyn is going to come back, trying to prove that she is the SEC Player of the Year caliber, first team All-American like she was this year as well. So there's going to be a lot to prove after falling just short of bringing back the national championship trophy. All right, Kentucky women, they played the other night and played Wright State, and to be honest with you, Kentucky absolutely whipped them. I think it was 96-53 at Memorial Coliseum, and let's see, that was Friday night, I believe, is when they played. I believe so. I believe it was Friday night because it was during the Alabama Oklahoma game, and I went to Lexington for this game. So, what a game! I do want to talk about Asia Boone and KK Carroll. Had a 3-point barrage in this game. I think they had something like 12 made threes between them, something like that. Asia Boone had 21, I believe, and KK Carroll had 18 off the bench, a career high for her. She hit 6 3-pointers. Great games off the bench. I'm just hoping that can translate and they can shoot like that against better competition. They've done that a couple of times when the competition has not been great. Morgan State, Wright State, here a couple of times they have done that. I hope that these girls can shoot like that, come off the bench, give them the punch that this team is going to need off the bench to run through the SEC and to be really good in the SEC. The SEC in women's basketball is no joke. I'm going to get to that here in just a little bit, but they're going to need that punch off the bench. They're going to need that production. They're going to need the punch off the bench to elevate them so they can be in the top 2, 3, 4, 5 of the SEC. I know their goal is to win the SEC. That's a very, very tall order, and I'll get to that in just a minute. But they're definitely going to need some bench play like Asia Boone and KK Carroll, the freshman All-American, provided against Wright State. So the girls have a little bit of time off right now. They should all be with their families. Most of them had flights out on Saturday, to be honest with you, over the weekend, and going to spend a few days at home with families and things of that nature. They do not play until the 28th. So they play Hofstra on the 28th, and I will be at that game. That will be right here at Memorial Coliseum, which is what is behind me. The women are up to number 11 in the AP poll today. So they started out at 23, 22, 23. So they've been steadily climbing. They are 12-1. Their only loss was in Puerto Rico against number 7 at the time, Maryland. And they just didn't shoot well in that game. They did fight to make it a respectable game. I think it wound up being an 8-point game. But they got down 20, had to fight to do that. But Maryland's a really good team. So, you know, the Cats here are, you know, a really good team. They're a little streaky shooting. Tayani Keys set out against Wright State. She's got a little leg problem. They're going to need her. They need to feed Clara Strack a little bit more in some of these bigger games, to be honest with you, I believe. And they need that outside shooting. They need Amelia Hassett, Asia Boone, KK Carroll to give them that outside shooting. So, how will the women do in the SEC? They start out on the road January 4th or something like that, 5th. They start out on the road in Baton Rouge against this crazy talented LSU team. Grace Knox has been playing well as a freshman. Johnson from Louisville as a freshman, and then you've got Michaela Williams, Flau'jae Johnson, Malaysia Fawali, Kate Koval. I mean, they're just loaded with talent. So Kentucky's going to find out really quick. You know, who's going to guard Tayani Key, who's going to guard Clara Strack. But at the same time, who's guarding Malaysia Fawali and Flau'jae Johnson? Michaela Williams is probably going to be guarded by Jordan Obi. I'm not sure who guards Flau'jae Johnson and Malaysia Fawali. I can't tell. But we're going to find out really soon. Kentucky, like I said, opens SEC play against LSU. You know, Kentucky finished top 4 last year, beat out Oklahoma for that 4th spot, and then Oklahoma beat them in the SEC tournament after Kentucky beat them in Norman last year in the regular season. That was the game that Georgia Amore scored 43 and beat them last year. You know, there's going to be some teams here. You know, I think your top 3 is Texas, LSU, and South Carolina. Maybe not in that order. I think that's going to be your top 3. Then there's some teams here that Kentucky's going to have to win their fair share of these games. I mean, you got Oklahoma, you got Ole Miss, you got Tennessee, you got Vandy, who they played twice. They're going to have to win. You know, you can't drop over 1 or 2 of those games outside of the 3 top that I mentioned and stay in the top 4 or 5 and stay in the top 10 to 15 in the polls, which is where I believe this Kentucky team wants to be. They were a 4 seed last year in the NCAA tournament and hosted in Lexington at Memorial Coliseum. I believe that's where they want to be this year as well. We will see how all this works out. I do believe this team is going to have to shoot the ball well and get some production off the bench. All right, I am going to move on to the college football playoffs, and I'm talking about this because Will Stein coached Oregon's offense as the offensive coordinator. Coach Stein, who is now Kentucky's new head coach, their offense, man, just the first 6, 7 possessions just steamrolled James Madison. Now, James Madison, the second half, put up some points on them. That was on the defense. That was not on the offense. I think the offense kind of let up a little bit after about midway through the third quarter. But, man, what a performance. In their first, I think, 6 possessions, they had no drive longer than 5 plays and no drive longer than like 2 minutes and 40 seconds. And all of them ended. They had 5 drives, 5 touchdowns by 5 different people. Now, that's feeding the studs. Speaking of studs, they are loaded with studs. Oregon has had 3 straight top 5 classes. I think 6 or 7 straight top 10 or 15 classes. And they are loaded with talent. They have like 60-some 4- and 5-star players or something on that team. I mean, they are absolutely loaded with talent. You can see that in everything that they do, how fast, quick, lightning they are, to be honest with you, and just very talented. And Will Stein knows how to get the ball to the right people and runs a great-looking offense. I mean, 41-yard bomb, 46-yard bomb. I mean, Dante Moore played really, really, really well. And it's fun to dream. Now, I will say this. It is kind of a dream right now because Kentucky does not have that kind of talent. They have not recruited 3 straight top 5 classes. That's going to be a stretch at Kentucky to do. I believe if you can get some top 15 classes at Kentucky, I believe you'll be doing something fantastic, to be quite honest with you. So we will see on that. You know, Stein is updating his staff. It looks like he's getting really close to being done with his staff. They officially announced Anwar Stewart today back with the defensive line. He is a holdover from the Stoops staff. He may be the only one. I'll get to another one here in just a second. But Joe Price was announced. The Christian Young guy was announced. And trying to think, they're getting really close to having all their staff members there. I think you can have 11, including Will Stein, so you get 5 offense and 5 defense is what most people do. And they're getting really close to completing their staff. There was one that's hasn't officially been announced that was announced yesterday, Alan Brown from California as a defensive back coach, cornerbacks, I believe. We will see how that works out. He is a young guy. This whole staff is young. He's a West Coast guy. So, you know, all of his recruiting ties and stuff are West Coast. We'll see how that works out. That's where Stein has been out there, the West Coast. So we'll see how that works out here at Kentucky. Now, Heartline, Mike Hartline was here last year, was brought in, and there was talk that he was going to return to Kentucky a couple of weeks ago after Stein was hired. But this past week, a few days ago, there was a surprise. He is joining his brother, Brian Hartline, at USF, uh, and he is going to be with him as a assistant coach. He was a quality control guy here. Hartline was. He was helping Boley, and Boley gave him a lot of credit. So we'll see exactly what happens with Boley. It still kind of looks like he's going to be here. There was already talk that Boley is going to be the number one guy. And then, of course, you got the four-star coming in, Potonsky or whatever his name is, that's coming in. So we'll see with all of that. But just want to throw this out here that Hartline is going with Brian to South Florida. He will not be returning. You know, he was the other one. I said Anwar Stewart is returning. Hartline was thought to be returning, and then there was some talk that Derek Shea, the tight end guy, might be returning, but there's been no, I haven't seen anything else on him, so I'm not real sure. Transfers, David Washington Jr. Put his name in the portal. Preston Bowman put his name in the portal. Of course, Steven Souls, we talked about him last week. There's been 5 or 6 guys. It really hasn't been that many that put their name in the portal. I'm kind of surprised. They still do have till January 2nd. The portal doesn't even open till January 2nd, officially open till January 2nd. So there's still a little bit of time, but it does look like the staff is possibly going to maintain a bunch of what was here. Doesn't look like there's going to be a mass exit, at least so far. That means that they are happy with some of the talent that we have here. There is quite a bit on the defensive side from that 24 class. That was a top 15 class, to be quite honest with you. That I think Brian Robinson is one of them. The Smith twins from Corbin. There was quite a few in that 2024 class on especially the defensive side of the ball. Willie Rodriguez was in that on the offense with a tight end. But anyway, that was a really, really impressive class. And I'm hoping to see a lot of them stay here. You know, that means that they're excited, and that also means that the players are excited about the possibilities with this, with the hiring of Will Stein, this new staff, the direction of the program, and things of that nature. If a lot of them stay, so that's a good sign. And you know, with that, man, I do have one quick thing that I want to say. So Patino brought this up. There's in the fan base and the media, there seems to be a lot of negativity jumping around, um, all different things. There was some negativity yesterday about the women's volleyball team who made it all the way to the championship game. 127 in straight matches, was 30-2, number 2 in the country. And it's sad. Like, what is wrong with people? And there's some media people that are doing it as well. I'm not going to name names yet, but I'm going to tell you right now, I'm getting real close. And if you're in the media and you're being ugly to players and about Kentucky players, I'll be honest with you, I don't think you should hold credentials. plain and simple. It's not my call, but I think it's uncalled for. And I think it needs to stop ASAP. And I think Kentucky needs to know about it, to be quite honest with you. And the fan base, I mean, it really is kind of sickening and sad that, you know, I'm a parent as well. I've got 18-year-old kids. And I'm going to tell you right now, if my kid was being recruited and I saw people who had a 30-2 season just have a tough day in the national championship game, and then people are jumping their kid because they had an off day, and I got a kid that's being recruited by this school, and that's the kind of stuff you're going to hear and see, I'm not so sure I'd want my kid to go to this school. If they can't appreciate good ball and be respectful and decent, and if you're in media and you're doing that, I don't think you should hold your credentials. I think they should be pulled. I'm just going to be honest. And I'm getting real close to naming some names. So if I was you, I might think twice about being ugly and negative towards teams and players. Just want to throw that out. That being said, man, I do want to say Merry Christmas to everyone. Hope you have a jolly Merry Christmas. I will not be back with you until next Monday night. Hope everybody gets lots of food, has great time with their family. You never know when this is going to end. Look at Greg Biffle and his entire family and how sad that was a few days before Christmas, a week before Christmas. I hope everybody has a Merry Christmas, and we will see you guys after the holiday next Monday night. See you later. Y'all have a good one. This has been Wildcat Weekly with College SportsCast, Season 4, Week 18.